In this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can control the recording workflow of sensor logger using external Bluetooth beacon devices such as these. Now you can do a lot of interesting things with them. For example, during a recording session, you can pause it, you can resume it, you can add a tag, you can trigger a time-stamped annotation, and you can even trigger a local notification, all without needing to touch your phone and all triggered externally from these devices. Now, for the purpose of demonstration, I've got two beacons here. This one is a relatively low-cost Shelly button. It's literally just a button. Oops. So you can press the button, and it will broadcast the states of the button press. As simple as that. I also got a Ruby tag here. It contains various sensors such as a accelerometer and also a temperature sensor, and we'll look at that in a bit. Now, the first thing to understand is how sensor logger communicates with these devices, and in particular how it logs and decodes information that is being broadcasted from them. So to do that, we go to the logger screen of sensor logger. We scroll to the very bottom where we can see Bluetooth beacons. Here we can scan for nearby Bluetooth beacon devices. Now this will take a second, but you can see that here it's picked up all the nearby devices. For example, this is the Ruby tag, which is this one. You can see SBBT, which is this Shelly button. And as a matter of fact, I'm recording this video on an iPhone, so you can see that it's picked up the iPhone that's literally nearby as well. This list here is sorted by signal strength, so things that are closer to the phone will show up higher in the list, making it easier for you to identify which one is which. Now, let's look at this Shelly button. So if you tap on this eye icon, you can go in and you can view more information. So for example, you can see the latest reading that is being broadcasted, the entire advertisement packet. You can also see the decoded data that is coming from this device. You can see, for example, here, one of the many fields is button, lowercase b, and the value here is press, lowercase p. Because I literally just pressed the button. I can also double press. So you can see that the value now has changed to double underscore press. I can also do triple press. Right, and you can see that it's being reflected here as well. Now, obviously, the specific name of the field and the specific value of the field depends on the hardware that you have, but the general concept is the same. Through this page, you can preview what is being broadcasted, and then you can understand how you can use the information to automate various actions during a sensor logger recording. But if I go back here, and if I, for example, toggle the sensor on, right, and if I start a recording, as expected, it will log all the information that we've been seeing on this other page alongside all the other sensors that you want to log within sensor logger. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're interested in how we can use the information that we just saw on the previous screen and hook it up in real time to various actions that sensor logger can take. And to do that, we use the rule engine. Now to access the rule engine, you tap the settings and you go to rule engine. Here is where you compose the various rules. Rules are all if this, then that format in terms of the structure of the rule. So you have an if condition here. So you can add various different conditions, and actually the sky is the limit. You can trigger things by time, duration, geofence, and so on. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we want to trigger a rule based on the Bluetooth advertisement. So select Bluetooth here, and the field name. So we saw just now is button lowercase b. So I'm going to put button here. And then we need to select the operator as reported as, and then we're going to do press lowercase p. So this condition will get triggered whenever I single press this button. And all I need to do is add an action. And again, this is depending on the specific use case you have, but I'm going to add an annotation, a time-stamped annotation, and I'm going to put Apple, whatever. Right, so during a recording session, whenever I press this, it will add a time-stamped annotation that is with the value Apple here. Now, let's add another rule here. So we're going to mirror the structure, call it Bluetooth, also button. But instead of single press, we're going to do a double press. underscore press. And again, this needs to match exactly to the field name. And then we're going to trigger a slightly different action. So we're going to add a tag here. We're going to call it like orange, for example. And then we can also chain multiple actions together. So here we can play a sound, for example. So we're going to do a sharp sound, for example. So so you can have multiple actions, multiple rules, all working together simultaneously. Now, this is important. Make sure you enable the rule engine. So by default, the rules are off during the composition, but make sure you enable the rule engine. And to double check that, you can also see that when you have the rule engine properly enabled, you can see it says here 2 rules enabled. Also make sure the sensor you want to use to trigger the rule is also enabled here. So there you go. So you can start the recording. Right, and then now, for example, if you want to single press, right, you can see that is being hooked up to the annotation, and annotation has been added as a result. I can press it again, and it will add another annotation. I can also do double press, right, because that was one of the rules that we added. And you can hear a faint chime in the background. Let me try it again. Right. One very useful tool is to look at this rule console. So this button here only exists when a rule engine is enabled. So you can see the rule console here. You can see a trace of all the rules that have been triggered as part of this recording session. So you can see the 2 single press. There's 2 single presses that I just did, which each triggered rule 1. And then you can also see the rule 2 triggered twice because I double pressed the button twice. So if I end the recording here, you can see that because of my double press, it added the tag orange, and you can also see the annotation here, the 2 annotations that I added from the button. So this is very powerful. So imagine, if you have a sensor logger recording and you want to add an annotation, the phone is out of reach, or like for whatever reason you're not supposed to touch your phone during a recording session, you can remotely timestamp an annotation, and this, for example, can help you with your data analysis or your labeling for your downstream machine learning training task. So you can be very creative on like kind of how you can use these different buttons to trigger various annotations and tags. Now, this is all well and good, but I'm gonna take a step up and try something a bit more complicated. So this is where the Ruby tags come in. So this one, unlike the Shelly button, which is literally just basically an advertisement whenever I press the button, the Ruby tag actually broadcasts physical measurement. So if I go into Ruby tag, now this tag reports value even when, so like at its own kind of sampling frequency. So you can see the temperature is coming in. It's summer here, it's 25 degrees Celsius, and then you can also see other things. So for example, the acceleration that came through, and then you can also see the decoded data. So there are many more fields from this sensor. So the thing that is of interest here is temperature underscore C, lowercase temperature underscore capital C for Celsius. So you can see currently it's 25.1 degrees Celsius. So just like what we did for the Shelly button, we can hook this up to the rule engine. So we're going to go back to the rule engine. We'll keep the 2 rules that we have so far, and we'll add another one. So this one, we're going to do Bluetooth again, and then we're going to do temperature underscore C. Right, and then we're going to do this time conditional rule. So I'm going to do, for example, larger than. So we, what was it? It was 25.1 degrees Celsius, right? So let's do 25.5 degrees Celsius, just a tad higher. And then we're going to trigger, for example, an annotation. So high temperature. Sorry. Right, and then we can also, for example, trigger a local notification. For example, the condition hasn't triggered. And you can imagine, for example, you can also do things like adjusting, for example, let's say if you want to use this temperature sensor to monitor the temperature of a piece of machinery, and then when the temperature is high, you want to record more information about the vibration of this pump or this engine, right? So what you can do is you can, for example, add one of these other actions, and you can adjust the sampling frequency of it. Now, I'm not going to do that here, but this really allows you to go beyond just kind of annotation and tagging, but actually automate your entire recording workflow, conditionally triggering sampling from various sensors, so it can become very powerful. But regardless, I've got this. You're gonna ask, how am I gonna increase the temperature? And I've got my secret weapon here, which is a hairdryer. So I'm gonna try to nudge the temperature higher a little bit on the Ruby sensor. Now it's gonna be loud, but it's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna start the recording, and I'm gonna go to the rule console so you can see the rules. So I'm gonna do this now. All right, so you can see the rules have been, the rule has been successfully triggered. You saw the notification that came through just now, and then you can also see it from here. So, for example, the Ruby tag here, so you can see the temperature was going up as I was blowing hot air on it, and then you can also see the rule engine being triggered here. So this is very powerful. So this is just two examples with a button and a temperature sensor. You can combine multiple sensors together to do very complicated automation to help with whatever your needs are with Sensor Logger.